What's going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Monday weather update for Monday, December 2nd, 2024. If you're new to my channel, this is where I do daily weather updates on the United States and also headlines from other weather happenings around the world, and we're going to talk about Australia. First today, want to be informed with what's going on with severe weather, tropical weather, winter weather, drought, rain, and everything else in between. You've come to the right place. I do these updates just about every day. Sometimes when it's quieter, we skip a few days, but right now it is not quiet. We do have some things to talk about. So if you're new, subscribe down below, give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. Going to start off with Australia, then talk about the United States, which does feature a reinforcing shot of cold air in the east, some snow squalls, and a bit of a change about something I mentioned yesterday. Seems as if suddenly the models have just decided to go in a different direction. I'll get to that in a little bit. Starting off in Australia, they are registering their warmest spring on record. In fact, Australia just had its warmest spring on record with a mean temperature more than 2 degrees Celsius above the long-term average. And you can see here, overall, you looking back at the 1980s, 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and well, now in the decade of the 2020s, and it's been trending warmer in Australia. The majority of them, you can see there have been far more years where it has been a warmer than normal spring than not as warm spring. And you can see here, if we look here, just 1, 2, 3, just 4 years were below average since 1990. That's a concerning trend, and you can see that staircase. They're continuing to climb up that staircase. It is not a good thing. All right, the National Weather Service put this out today. I believe this is the National Weather Service forecast office in Greenville, in South Carolina, and this is really a good refresher for those who do not know. When we talk about winter storms in the eastern portion of the United States, we generally talk about two main types of nor'easters. There's a Miller A type, which generally you get an area of low pressure developing off an old boundary or a cluster of thunderstorms in the Gulf of Mexico, and it comes right up the coast. Sometimes it forms in the Atlantic, but we also have Miller B type storms. What is a Miller B type storm, you might ask? Well, that's when you have a storm system coming across the United States, but then it transfers its energy to a new low, whether it be over the coast or in the Atlantic or somewhere along the coast. Sometimes it forms right over 95, and then sometimes you can even get a Miller A-B combo. Some people call that a Miller C, where a little bit of both happens, where you have multiple pieces of energy that come together. But those are the two main types of storm systems you're going to hear me mention probably a few times this winter. And for snow lovers, you really want your classic storm track is a Miller A, which can come up the coast, and if it's far enough to the east, or if it tracks just perfectly, you love that for snow. Now, Miller B, yes, that can do things good for snow as well. There have been some big Miller B storms over the years, but it also has to time up correctly, and it depends where you live. If you live down the south, well, you really need that low to develop south, and sometimes it doesn't develop far enough south. And there's a lot of different things that can happen. Just wanted to educate you on what Miller A is and a Miller B. Alrighty, moving on now to the latest satellite picture, and let's refresh this. We can see there are a few clouds in the northeast. Generally quiet conditions continue in the southeast, which is why you haven't heard me mention states like Florida or Georgia all that much lately. You will today, though, because there's a reinforcing shot of cold air that's going to come. And if you look way up there in Canada, at the top of this loop, you can see here, there is the first signs of that getting ready to come down. It will come down on Wednesday, and some clouds in southern Texas, like we've been talking about, moisture will eventually build there. Still some winds going over the Great Lakes at this time. And out in the Pacific Ocean, take a look at these winds. Yeah, there's a storm system that is going up into portions of Canada. There's some moisture with that. Nothing terribly significant, but it's something to look at. Taking a look at the radar picture. Whole bunch of nothing ongoing in the southeast. There is a weak clipper system moving into portions of Kentucky. Right now it went through Missouri. Could be some coatings of snow with that. And we also do see there are still some snow squalls, snow showers ongoing from the Great Lakes. And we do see there is another weak disturbance that is ongoing across portions of the Dakotas. Out on the west coast, all is quiet at this time. Let's refresh this to take a look at the National Hazards Map. And there are still freeze warnings and frost advisories up for portions of Florida and Georgia. And there are still lake effect snow warnings ongoing across northwest Pennsylvania and southwest New York State. And there are winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings across portions of Lake Michigan in Michigan and northern Indiana at this time. And we do have air quality issues today out in portions of Oregon and Idaho. It's still potentially wildfire related, but it's also fireplace season, which means a lot of fireplaces are going, and well, that's leading to bad air qualities. Storm Prediction Center, taking a look at this. There's nothing to look at today. No severe expected and no critical fire danger over the next several days. Taking a look at what's going on with the with the Weather Prediction Center over the next 1 through 7 days. And we can see here, there's going to be quite a bit of precipitation towards the end of this week, later in the week, across portions of Texas, eastern Texas, Louisiana. You're going to be jackpot. You can see there, upwards of 5 inches of precipitation over the next 7 days. Mississippi, Alabama, this is beneficial rain for some of these areas. As you can see here, I mean, Alabama could really use the rainfall, and you're going to get it. You're going to get at least the western half of the state will see the highest amounts, where there could be amounts upwards of 2 inches. The eastern half, upwards of half an inch of rainfall. You also still see some precip maximums over the Great Lakes. That's because there will still be some lake effect snow showers and bands that will continue, and there'll be a reinforcement to that a little bit on Thursday. We also do note this in the Pacific Northwest, high precipitation amounts for Oregon and portions of Washington State. I'll show you that on the models as well. All right, let's take a look at the RGM model, and we can see that little clipper system that's moving through Kentucky right now. It is eventually going to weaken. Could be a few snow flurries, though, in portions of North Carolina. As I advance this, here comes that clipper system. This is Tuesday evening, still lake effect snow showers ongoing for the Great Lakes, and you can see this does kind of re-energize things once again across the lakes. And something else we have to watch Wednesday evening is with this system, with this clipper system, there could be some convective nature to it. It would not surprise me if there are a squall line or two, meaning snow squall warnings could be possible. You can see here, look across the Great Lakes. We're actually going to switch this to the northeast view, and you can see here, you can see these snow squalls. They're pretty vigorous on the RGM model, and I think anywhere from about east of Chicago through to at least central Pennsylvania, upstate New York, Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, you really need to be careful if you're going to be traveling anywhere Wednesday night. There could be some vigorous snow squalls with this that could quickly reduce visibility, and, you know, it could coat the roadway real quickly, which does tend to cause problems on the interstate. As we head into Thursday morning, that will eventually transition to the northeast and the I-95 corridor. Some snow showers are possible there as well. I don't know that there'll be snow squall warnings, but you could see a few snow showers. The best chance for snow squall warnings there would probably be in New England, as you can see here on this model run, as that's probably where the best convective nature to this setup would be. And behind that, yep, the lake effect snow machine will be ongoing once again, but also the temperatures will get cold once again. And I have to show you this on the NAM. So here's where we are today, and you can see here, as we head into tomorrow, you can see that is going to slowly start to shift east, and Wednesday will actually be the warmest day of the week in the east. But look what's coming behind. This is the temperature anomaly. You can see a reinforcing shot of cold air for pretty much all of the East Coast as we get into the second half of the week and as we head towards the weekend. Eventually that will moderate as we head into next week. And you can see on the West Coast, look at this at the end of the run. Yes, the West Coast, you do actually warm up to slightly warmer than average conditions. All right, let's take a look at the European model today for what's going to happen across the rest of the country. And you can see as we head into later in the week, and I should show you the time. This is Wednesday. We can see some showers do start getting going across portions of Texas. Eventually that moves into Louisiana, and it kind of slows down there. But watch what happens. As that pushes south, another round will push north once again. We see the cold air moves into the east, and we also see by the time we get into Saturday, a storm system, a flow of moisture, is impacting portions of Oregon and Washington. Look at this. It does last into much of Saturday and maybe lingering into Sunday, although the trend has been for that to move out faster. That is the energy that we're watching for that storm system next week. I said there would be a wintry signal with this, or wintry aspect. There could be for someone. It's not looking right now as if it is going to be as significant as it once was. Take a look here. It's looking like it's going to be the wintry aspect ends up further north, and there may even be a brief warm-up ahead of this system, as you can see on the European, as we head into early next week. Yes, the east does see a brief warm-up ahead of this system, and unfortunately, look where the low tracks over the Great Lakes, and there's more modeling starting to show this now. We're still a week out, but if this track does hold, it would at least bring some beneficial rains to the East Coast as we head into next Monday and into Tuesday. But behind us, look again, another shot of colder air does move in, and there's even another clipper signal showing up behind that with another reinforcement. But I'm telling you, by the time we get to the middle portion of the month, the pattern is going to change. It's going to become stormy once again in the Pacific Northwest, and I do think we may see a bit of a thaw eventually occur in the east. Unfortunately, if you want a major winter storm in the east, this is not the pattern for you. The pattern just does not support for there to be a major snowstorm in the east at this time. We would need a complete pattern flip, and the only flip that we're getting is, take a look here as I advance into the long-range European. You can see we pretty much do a lot of big swings. We get these cold shots, and then we get these ridges that come in to take things back to average temperatures, to maybe even a few degrees above average. So overall, it is going to be an active stretch with all these changes, but it's just not going to be a wintry picture in the east. The one place that will see a lot of wintry activity, that is the northern Rockies. You're going to see several snow threats if you're in that area. Taking a look at the GFS, and we can see here on the GFS, here comes that reinforcement of the cold air moving into the northeast as we end the week. But behind that, we do see that moderation as we head into the second half of the weekend and into early next week. Here's that ridge. I'll show it to you on the 500 millibar pattern. Take a look at this. It does warm up, and I can even show you the temperatures, and you will see it really actually does warm up somewhat as we head into early next week. Take a look at this. 60s down into even Virginia as we head into next Monday, and even possibly near 60s in Philadelphia of Tuesday of next week. That's ahead of that front. 70s showing up for North Carolina. 80s in Florida. Yes, that is a significant warm-up, but it's not going to last because here comes that storm system. And you can see on the GFS, there is a wintry aspect on the northwest side for Chicago, Michigan, St. Louis even. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. I'm not saying no one's going to see wintry precipitation with this storm system, but along the East Coast, it's not looking good. It's looking like a rain event, which, again, would be beneficial rain. Behind that, more of a unsettled pattern in the sense that temperatures are going to be swinging up and down like a seesaw, and we're going to see several storm systems in the northern plains and across the northern Rockies. There goes another one, and if I advance this, there's another one. So yeah, a lot of wintry chances up there, just not for the snow lovers in the east. And if you don't like snow, well then, hey, guess what? You're not going to be seeing it in the east. You may see some rain early next week. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Monday weather update. We'll have another weather update again tomorrow. We'll take a look at the Climate Prediction Center tomorrow as well. If you enjoyed this update, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you're new to my channel. I often get a lot of new viewers, but they don't subscribe, so if you could subscribe down below, hey, that would help me out big time. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Share this video with anyone you know. That also helps as well. And of course, hit the notification bell, and leave your comments down below. I will see you all again next time. Until next time, have a fantastic Monday afternoon, and thanks for watching.